So you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, but first you would like to seek some advice as to when is the right time to go ahead and hire that virtual assistant. Well, you have come to the right place. I have some experience with hiring virtual assistants myself, and today I'm going to speak with you specifically about when is the right time to hire a virtual assistant. Now, right out the gate, just to cut right to it, you hiring a virtual assistant, you are now literally, you're somebody's livelihood, the way that they eat, the way that they take care of their family, the way that they, shower, how they sleep. So don't play with their life. Have at least 3 months of their salary, set aside to the point where those 3 months, no matter what happens in your life, you can pay them. And I say 3 months. Now, if they come in the first day and they're horrible, that's different. But I say 3 months because you're going to make an educated hire. So your hiring skills are going to be great to the point that you're going to have somebody who's worth to keep around for at least 3 months. So to, step back, my first hire of hiring my virtual assistant happened back in 2019. I was 21 years old and I was about 6-7 months into full-time wholesaling real estate when I made my first hire for a virtual assistant, and that virtual assistant was cold calling leads for me. Now, one thing I want you guys to know, I do not recommend that you go out and try to hire a virtual assistant to do something that you cannot do yourself. So if you're somebody that's, trying to get your first wholesale deal, you're cold calling, and you have not cold called and got that first wholesale deal yet, I feel like, this is just my personal feeling, that you should first get the deal yourself. That way you know the process that it takes, then get you a VA, right? So the VA is going to come as a result of you knowing the process, not that you're getting a VA and praying that they can make a miracle happen for you, the miracle being something that you haven't done yet yourself. So that's another tip number 2. Definitely do not hire a VA if you have not done what you want the VA to do yourself. And when I say virtual assistant, I'm speaking about somebody that's, helping you out in your business, doing tasks that you can do, but you realize that there's more important things that you can utilize your time for. So you are able to hire out, outsource that specific task or whatever it may be. So for a lot of people in wholesaling real estate, the number one thing is cold calling. Again, I would recommend, my personal recommendation, do not hire somebody to cold call if you don't know yourself what it takes to get a lead under contract from cold calling to close that deal. Don't hire somebody to do it until you do it yourself. So I say this because at 7 months in, I was full-time wholesaling real estate. Prior to that 7 months, it took me 9 months to get my first wholesale deal. So during those 9 months, I didn't even think about hiring somebody to do something that I hadn't done myself. I wanted to prove to myself that it worked, and I wanted to prove to myself that the process that I created from scratch worked to the point where I can put somebody else into it. So now let's get there, putting somebody else into the process. The main thing, as I told you, once you got the 3 months salary set away, you're doing it, you already got the process set in place. When it's time to go ahead and make that hire, you have to already have a process set in place, guys. So at this point, when you have this process set in place that what your virtual assistant is going to be doing on a day in and day out basis, then I feel like it's time to go ahead and make that hire. And I feel like it's time to make that hire when you have your process. That way you'll be able to show them. And again, you're going to have to pay them for the time that they spend with you. So you don't want to be trying to figure out stuff while you're paying them to teach them stuff that you're still trying to figure out. So definitely just make sure you have your process. You've already completed the process, not just have a process. You can watch my YouTube and have a process, but you don't know if it works until you do it for yourself. So you have that process, you've completed that process, and you have at least 3 months of their salary stashed away. And again, I say 3 months because I trust your judgment. I know you have excellent judgment, and I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of advice from all the hiring that I've done, because back from 2019 when I first started my entrepreneurship journey to 2021, and 2019 was full-time, to 2021, whatever date I'm dropping this, I've hired several virtual assistants, but also not really like virtual assistants, yes, people who've done tasks, but I've also hired virtual talent from different states or different countries to leverage the power of the US dollar and things like that, where the talent is still there, but the US dollar, the pay rate will be different. So I've done a lot of hiring, a lot of things, and I got a lot of things to share with you guys on that, on that tip of things, which, in this channel, Steps to Success, the steps are my own life experience that I'm still walking and steps that I've already taken. And like I said, there's so much that I still have to share with you guys, steps that I've already taken that we're just scratching the surface. So again, you have the 3 things. Once it's time to make that hire, you go through, you make the hire, and I want to let you guys know something, to be completely transparent. When I first made my hire, I was more than most likely more nervous than the person that I was interviewing. And I interviewed about 8 or 9 different people, and I was nervous. Like, I was very nervous because it was my first time. I'm like, oh my God, what I gotta do? I was freaking nervous, but I did it, and I've grown through that. And since then, I sometimes get butterflies when I have to interview somebody, but now I'm able to, take control of the conversation and direct the conversation. Guys, this is amazing. The fact that, just to get off, guys, it's amazing that, at 18 years old, you can hire somebody to work for you. Like, that's amazing. But just don't do it just for the saying, right? Don't do it just to say you got somebody working for you. Do it because you have a process in place. You know that the process works, right? Because you've done it yourself, and you have 3 months of their salary saved away. That way, at that 3-month mark, if you don't see the results, then you can X them out. My VA, just to tell you guys, a little bit of advice. Experience from me, my VA, I paid them $250 every 2 weeks, $500 a month, and I kept him for 4 months. I originally had the, $1,500 set away, but he was doing a great job. We had a great vibe, and that's my guy. You probably tuned into this. What's up, Jose, if you tuned in? That's my guy, and I just had to let him go because of, results and fine-tuning things I do in my process. But all in all, it was a great experience, and I did the 3 things before I hired that guy. So make sure you do that as well. And as long as your heart is in each step, then you're already a success. As always, get the step in between me and you guys. I want to let you know, when you're hiring a VA, I appreciate you staying to the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't. But when you're hiring a VA, guys, you want to be able, because there's going to be if you put in no matter where you put the application out at, you're going to have a lot of people applying to your position. So in the description, if you're going to skip and if you've already checked the 3 boxes and you're ready to go hire somebody right now, then just make sure in the description that you put something that says maybe you put a link in there or something you put a link in there and you say tell me what this link says. So what's the first sentence in this link? And it may be the link is to an article that has something to do with your type of business. The reason you would do that, though, is to make sure that people are not just submitting applications, and that way you can weed out the people who are actually focused and intrigued in your position. They're actually in there, putting their best foot forward, versus people that are just clicking submit, and they aren't actually reading your job description. So that's something you'll be able to do to weed out people, because you're going to have 100 to 150 applications within the first 24 to 48 hours. So to weed out about half of those, just put some type of description or some type of action step. And if they don't follow it, then X them out. They're not even in the same ballpark of, what you're looking to get, okay? And that's it, guys. That's between me and you. Definitely implement that. I appreciate you watching.